Hi, I'm Carla with Heartlead Studios, and I will be serving the collective listening today in a reading. So, spirits, guides, ascended masters, angels, and ancestors in the highest good, in love and light. Please send us a message today that is in the highest good of the collective listening. Know that this message is for you if it has found you. Listen to the first thing that your intuition says. You'll know that this message is for you. I'm wondering, got the tarot out, but I'm thinking I'm going to do an archetype card first. Um, what I've kind of been picking up on before I started pulling these cards was like themes around, like you might be noticing that people are almost like wanting to start doing work for you to like build your good work. That there's like people kind of just being like, oh, let me help you with that. Let me help you with that. Because they like really are liking what you're doing, and they want to contribute to your project. I think that's really cool. Like you're gonna see it in like really random places. It'll be like strangers even being like, hey, let me like help you with that. And you're finally in a place where you feel safe, like receiving help from others. So if that feels like it resonates with you, this message is definitely for you. All right, let's pull a card first. Okay, I feel like it was this one. Okay. All right, we got the messenger. And with these archetype cards, I'd like to just read what the book says because it kind of just it's gonna set the pace for the reading. And I really love the how these are written about all the 44 archetypes. Most of the time I don't like to read from the book, but sometimes the book is just exactly what needs to be said. So I feel that way with this deck. Yeah, you've probably come to, like, you might even be like starting to connect with people, or you could tell people in your community are starting to like try to connect with you and stuff, like while you're just out doing your like daily routines and stuff. Okay. The archetype of the messenger enters your life as a harbinger of change, when the time has come to leave your familiar world and embark on a new adventure. Sometimes he or she will meet you in human form, but the message may also enter your life as a book, newspaper ad, song, email, or sudden external change. In times of change, be mindful of synchronicity. Synchronicities are coincidental events or encounters with a deeper meaning and seen to occur without a casual connection. Oh, yeah. The first form of synchronicity you can encounter will show you what needs change within you to reach a new level. As you make this transformation, further synchronicities will occur, leading you to new possibilities. You can also enter people's lives as a messenger and deliver a meaningful message, helping people lift their perceptions and empower themselves in a world in a wonderful is a wonderful gift you can offer. Helping people empower themselves is a wonderful gift you can offer. If this is your calling, you can support others at the crossroads of their lives and to follow their soul plan. The messenger archetype can also relieve shadow sides characterized by hidden agendas. So what was coming up for me when I was reading this is that another confirmation for you might be that if you're a reader or a psychic medium or someone that is a conduit for source messages that oftentimes you feel like it might just be a message for you, and like you're kind of trying to figure out, is this just a message for me, or is this like actually a message for other people? And maybe that's something that you're trying to figure out. Like, this is like maybe one of your third eye blocks that you have. Okay. Um, the messenger archetype can also reveal shadow sides characterized by agendas, a lack of self-worth, or integrity. Sometimes one pretends to have important information in an area, even though the relevant knowledge is lacking. Or one may deliberately pass on a message of trust in order to gain an advantage in the form of power or recognition. This card reminds you that the messenger has an intermediary role between us humans and the divine plan. When this archetype enters your life, it asks you to overcome your fears, start a new adventure, and step into the unknown to live your soul plan. The message is the card is a call to change and announces a significant event. This event will give you the realization that the time has come to bring your inner and outer world into a new order. All right, let's get into the cards. Tarot. I mean, what I'm also picking up is that maybe you've been struggling with some like power dynamic environments. Not fun. But it seems like something's shifting in that area. All right, thank you, Spirit. Please guide us. You're coming to a place where you're no longer depleting yourself of the spiritual energy that you need to pour into yourself to completely integrate your higher self. Like, I feel like this might have just began for you. And that whatever you're going through right now is going to be setting the stage for teaching others how to get through these same scenarios and how to heal through them. Anything else, Spirit? Come on. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you might, like, in the past, you've been, like, it's probably been a really long time, but you have very real memories of being, like, a very centered person. Um, and almost like a teacher of teachers. But this is kind of the most recent experiences you've had have kind of pulled you out of that mindset. But what's coming up next here? Yeah, you have, yeah, it's the same thing. It's like very much themes around teaching people like how to not forget themselves. Um, this is going to start bringing some material abundance into your life, but it's kind of at the beginning stages. And you're in a place where you're not really like your mental demons are not really getting in the way of you calling in like your highest timeline anymore. And this is going to have a lot to do with what you will be teaching others how to do as well. Anything else we got today? Okay. Be wary of, because a lot of times, be wary of the spiritual ego if it decides to peek its head, not to let it shame you, but um, make sure we're just staying honest and encouraging others to find power in themselves and not to worship us whenever we are their teachers. Um, that it needs to be like almost at an equal level. Like we need to see the people that we're teaching as equals. And the thing is like we all have things that we have a level of mastery in. And so a lot of times when we see that someone is behind in something we've mastered, like we don't really see like all the other wisdom that they hold. So just because you're able to like teach somebody one thing, it doesn't mean that they're at like some lower level consciousness than you. There's um there's so many things to hold knowledge about, and every person is going to be able to teach you something that you don't know and actually be more wise about that than you. So it's like everyone has their path on this on the path. Like we all have different goals that we aspire to go after. And you know, once we've been given some like spiritual power, sometimes if we haven't worked through those specific ego blocks, it might make us feel like, you know, better than. And that is not where we want to be as teachers. Because eventually your students will figure out how to empower themselves, and then it will be like they'll struggle to even want to hear anything that you ever taught them. They might throw everything out because of the judgment that was held against them or the misuse of power. No, I don't think this has happened yet. It's more of a like, hey, pay attention. Don't let this get in the way of what you came here to do. Um, you know, we all have temptation to do one or other thing, but I think that I feel like this is ancestral message. So it's probably something that lives in your like DNA from your ancestral line. It's not necessarily like a spirit thing that you're having to. It might be something like karmically that you're trying to close out from a past life. But I mean, not all my past lives have been all, you know, love, light, and roses. So, and no one's have. Like, no one has like had an enlightened lifetime in every lifetime, because we start back with a clean slate, and we choose lifetimes. They're going to push us and challenge us, and sometimes we don't do what we set out to do. Ooh, confirmation. Um, so, even if you have like a challenging student or client or coworker, just know that we are all on the path. Some of us consciously are. And as conscious path walkers, it is our duty for the collective to not throw people into shame. And then, but that can get really complicated, because sometimes source, spirit uses shame to help people hit their rock bottom. I try not to hold any shame on things, and I'm that maybe I didn't do perfectly in the past, because when I get out of it, I'm like, man, that doesn't even feel like something that I would do. Like, I mean, it's always gonna, if it's not in alignment with love, it's always gonna feel like it's not you, because that is our authentic selves, is love. So, I mean, but sometimes I'll get like an intuitive hit, and it'll be like, well, I just needed you to do that. And it's like, oh. So like, or you might have even you might have had a contract that you had with this person to show up a certain way. It's just but also contracts can be rewritten, like one day you could be in alignment with this contract and the next day you're not, and that has to get rewritten. And we just have to know that source is capable of rewriting it with another person that is capable of carrying out that contract. So all we got today? I think that's the message. I want to close this out with a bibliomancy from Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. It's a nice book to close out. I used it with my subscription service collective reading yesterday. And I haven't done bibliomancy in a while, but I'm kind of feeling it, so I'm going to pull it out. Let's see what the message is. All right, Spirit, what is the best message from this book for the collective today? All right, call off the search party. I was inside me all along. We all have an inner light waiting to guide us home, but sometimes the universe turns off all the lights, so we have no choice but to find our own. Perhaps that's been the case for you. It certainly has been for me. For as long as I can remember, I had this inner knowing that I was here for a reason. I knew that I had a purpose, a calling, but the whole thing stressed me out. It was like walking around with this huge weight of responsibility on my shoulders. It felt like I had this urgent thing to do, and time was running out. You know that feeling when you have an assignment or work to do on the weekend and you can't relax until it's done? Well, I had that feeling constantly, as if there was something that I was forgetting, a whisper that I couldn't quite make out. The feeling niggled me, whatever that means. Niggled? I don't know. There was there when I went to bed. It was there in the middle of the night, and there when I woke up in the morning. I'd spent the majority of my life looking out for myself, looking outside of myself for answers, reaching for anything I could get my hands on in order to soothe the subtle aching, longing, yearning, and calling deep within my soul, which said there was something I was missing. There was something more. I turned to relationships, career, travel, food, alcohol, and partying, but none of them quite hit the spot. I tried traveling to the ends of the planet in search for something that I couldn't quite put my finger on. I was pushing, striving, and controlling instead of listening, trusting, and allowing. It took my whole life to come tumbling down for me to realize that everything I was searching for was inside me all along. My soul was always calling me. I was just facing the wrong way. I hope you enjoyed this reading today. Let me know in the comments if this resonated for you, and I would love to know how this hits.